Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Real Drinks with Ali Flores. And this is another holiday episode. We're going to be talking about one of our favorite Christmas movies. It is by far one of my top Christmas movies, and I'm super excited to talk about this Christmas movie. And our guest tonight is someone I've known for a little bit. She's a writer, she's a producer, she's a director. She's an amazing human being, and I'm so excited to have her on here. So, without further ado, let's welcome Laura Young. Laura, yay!
Hello. It's weird. I had the feeling that I was like backstage and ready to like run on, and
Well,
here we are.
I'm gonna put in post just one person going, so you get the one clap. So,
The
yay!
only clap I'll have like in the last 10 months. I will be so thankful for that one clap. So
It's so good to see you. I am
so good to see you.
super excited to have you on here. So I'm loving the backdrop as we
Thank
can't
you.
really make it a surprise, but here's what we're talking about right there. If you
hmm
know it, you know it.
hmm
That's we're going to be talking a little National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
We are. And my background for those listening is wonderful cousin Eddie and his shitter's full. So he is just I'm quoting the movie, is dumping
Oh,
it in the most convenient place possible.
yes,
Just the sewer hole. That's fine.
that's where it goes. It's where it goes.
Yeah. So
Um,
shit goes in the sewer hole. I still am a little confused behind the science of this. So
by the
I
way,
get it.
a little known fact before I mean, even before we're getting into it, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Little tidbit. By him putting it, the shitter's full, and he's putting that in there. That is how Pennywise was created. That's how it happened.
Oh.
Yeah, little people. A lot of people don't know that. They don't know that.
Yeah. And it took so there's like so he's a little baby Pennywise and it
Yeah.
took 9 months. And
hmm
that's why Halloween and that was the birth of Halloween.
And there
We
you go.
figured it out.
How are you? I'm so excited you're here.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm 2020 good. So like a little drunk, but fine.
Perfect. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Lord, when I tell you that I have a closet full. I'm saving every bottle that I've had since quarantine, since the beginning of COVID. And
Oh.
thankfully, the collection is growing slower, but in that
Okay.
first few months,
Yeah.
oh, there was empty bottle, empty bottle constantly just being put away.
Mm.
And I've got to say I have at least 30
Bottles.
bottles of rum,
All right.
tequila, um, Tito's, some
Oh,
handles, not
Tito's.
just
It's
little
not vodka anymore. It's just Tito's.
Tito's. That's it. Just and
No
then
other
this
no other choice.
podcast, with this
Yeah.
podcast, I'm having to build my bar up because people keep
hmm
asking for different things, and I go, you give me the ingredients and I'll make it.
Yeah.
So um the last episode we did with Home Alone, and my
Yeah.
buddy Frank Alfano came up with a drink. He found it online called the Home Alone, and it
Oh.
is a gin based drink. And I'm not a gin person, but I had to go get
Now you
gin.
are.
I had to get gin, simple syrup, um, some what is it? Ginger beer. It wasn't that bad.
Ooh.
It wasn't that bad.
Like a mule.
Kinda, but it had cucumber in
Okay.
it. Like you had to mull cucumbers.
Did
And
you mull cucumbers?
no,
Or
I
did you
don't
just
have a
like
muller. I put it in my like smoothie
okay.
and just made it a
So it
smoothie.
was healthy, is what you're saying. Now
I think
it's
so. It wasn't
okay.
bad. Lemon
That's how
juice and
diets work.
yes, yes.
Yes.
It has vegetables in it. Damn it, it works. So tell everyone a little bit about what you do in the business, what you've been doing, all that stuff.
Sure. Everything. I mean, I think right now the biggest thing I do for like a job is I perform. I do a lot of voiceover ish stuff. You did it with me, so you know why I'm ishing
hmm
it. It's a very weird amalgamation
Right.
of everything, but I love it. But besides that, I fancy myself like I'm an actor, but I think that I've always been a writer. So I write a lot. I write some screenplays, some poetry, and then I do all the jobs around it just so my work can get produced. So if I produce, it's usually my work because I'm selfish.
There you go. Hey,
So
aren't
yeah,
we all though? I mean, it's our baby. If you're writing
yeah,
something,
yeah,
you want to make sure it gets done right. So
exactly.
yeah, we all get there.
Yeah,
Gosh, I've done so many things that I'm like, I don't want you to touch it. Don't
yeah.
don't mess with it. This is mine.
I mean, I'm okay if people I'm okay if people touch it. But you know, but if they're not gonna touch it, I'll do it myself. We're talking about writing. We're talking about my written word,
The written word.
the
Yep.
written word,
I thought you were. I couldn't put a finger on it, but I now that I got it, it's the
written
written
word.
word. Got it. Got
Keeping
it.
it classy.
Yes, keep it classy. Um, so we're going to be talking about uh, National Lampoon's Christmas
Yeah,
Vacation, the 1989 hit, um, A Christmas Vacation. Christmas Vacation. It's brilliant.
yeah.
Um, what I
I j-
go ahead.
I was like, do you, I don't. It's so funny because it's because you are it's horrible because you are older than me. I want to be like, you know how old I was when this came out,
Go
but
ahead.
now there's no, but there's going to be someone who's like 10 years younger than me that can drink already. That's like, you want to know how old I was when this came
hmm
out? So now I can't make those jokes anymore. That's how long you and I have been friends, that I used to be able to make those jokes and now I can't.
So you are. You let's see. How old were you in
I was
19?
2.
2 years old.
Yeah.
I was 3. So yes, I'm older.
Yes.
So yes,
Yes. Just by a little
right
bit,
there,
but
just a little bit.
enough to hang
Uh,
it over your head.
1989 was my freshman year in high school.
Okay.
So just a little older.
Little, just little. Lol. There's no T's.
Lol,
Lol.
lol, little older. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so we're going to be talking about a Christmas Vacation,
hmm
and tell me what about this movie? Like, do you remember the first time you saw this movie?
I don't. And that's because we watch it every year on Thanksgiving. Like this is we eat our turkey, we chill out, and we watch this movie. So I grew up, this is how I learned all my swear words. This is how, like, every time I watch it, I get the questions in my head that I had when I was a kid about, like, oh, is that what a job is like? Does everyone get a bonus? What does fuck mean? Like, it was all of those. So I don't remember the first time, but I do remember many a time watching it, and like the cadence of it, like when it starts, my dad will like start going like, boom, 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 and yeah.
Yep.
So I know those moments.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
This is one of those movies that I do not remember the first time I saw it either.
yeah.
I just know that I instantly love this movie.
hmm
I remember going, I will watch this every year.
hmm
It's so good.
Yeah,
It's so funny. Um,
and it keeps getting better. Like the older you get, you're like, oh, now I relate to that person. Now I relate to that person.
yeah, and you get some of the jokes now a little bit better.
Yeah,
Now that we're older, we sit there and go, oh,
yeah,
never got that. Didn't know about that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's so good. Um, so let's talk about what we're drinking. Um,
Okay.
so what are we drinking for this for our real drinks episode here?
So what I asked Ali was an impossible ask. I really wanted eggnog in the Moose Cup, the official National Lampoon's Moose Cup, but that Moose Cup cannot be found anywhere. So I'm drinking eggnog, but I'm drinking it out of a cup that says naughty, nice. I tried with a little. So it's like that works.
That
That feels
works.
2020. I tried.
I'm drinking eggnog out of a
Uh-huh.
Family Guy mug or
Ooh.
glass. So kind of funny. It's comedy.
Yes. Ha ha ha
So
ha.
and here's a little fact.
Okay.
This will be the first time I've ever tasted eggnog.
Oh no.
Yeah. I
You
have
like
always
milkshakes.
yes, I love milkshakes,
Okay, okay.
but I've
It,
always steered away from eggnog because it just doesn't sound good.
it is an acquired taste. Oh no, you may hate me after this.
No, 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 no.
Whenever you drink it and then rewatch this movie,
Mhm.
they drink it so much in this
Mhm.
movie. And it is not a drink that you just like consume. And they also drink it when it's like been sitting in a bowl for hours. And it's like, no, you gotta put it in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like to think of it. You may hate it or love it. That it's basically like a melted milkshake.
A melted milkshake with alcohol,
Yeah,
with booze.
with alcohol.
Yeah, I went
Yeah,
to the liquor store and I bought the pre-made. It already had booze in it,
perfect.
and so I'm like, all righty,
All right.
we'll give it a shot. So here's to
Okay.
you.
Here's to you. I'm so scared you're gonna hate me.
I'm not gonna hate you for this.
Okay. Okay.
That is strong.
Yeah. The
That is
pre-made
not.
stuff don't mess around.
I was not expecting it to be that. I was thinking it was going to be more, more,
Sweet.
yeah, I guess, more noggy. I guess, um, uh, and then
Less.
you wouldn't be able to
Yeah.
taste the alcohol. But holy God, you can totally taste
Oh
the alcohol in
no.
this.
No, it's like
It's ooh,
yeah. Ooh.
this is dangerous.
It's a melty milkshake, but it's an acquired taste. It's not. You can't have like seven. You can have one.
Yeah, it's thick.
Yeah. That's
Now
how I
I get
like
the
my
joke.
drinks. Thick.
Thick. Now I get the joke. David Tell has a great joke. I
Mhm.
mentioned it on the last episode about eggnog because I told Frank that I was going to be tasting eggnog for the first time.
Yeah.
Um, and David Tell has a great thing. He goes, you know what, he goes, eggnog. I want to get a little drunk, but I also want pancakes. And he goes, you know what eggnog really is? You're not going to like it, but I'll tell you, elf cum. That's what it is. You might as well pour it on your back and smack yourself on the ass.
I mean,
And I'm going to tell you, it does taste a little like Christmas ejaculate. It's
before this podcast began, I asked Holly if I was allowed to swear. So I feel like that set the bar. And here
we're
we go.
good. We're good. Um, that's not bad. It's just stronger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was expecting maybe more pancakey mix than
Yeah.
the alcohol, but that's
Hey, in
I
the
don't hate
north,
you.
you got to survive it. You got to survive this snow. And the best way to do it is just like, because it's not just one alcohol. If you look at it, it's like brandy and whiskey. And then you're like, okay, this goes on forever.
Yes, I was looking at
Yeah.
the bottle. I was like, oh, it's got a little bit of everything in it. Huh?
Yeah, but just a little bit. And it's like, no, that's a lot of bit.
That's a lot of bit. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna be drunk by the time we're done with this. Um,
Woo!
nice. I also just recorded another one, so I had drinks then too. So
Oh,
this
dun,
will be
dun,
good.
dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so
Yeah.
for
All
the
right.
4 people that live under a rock
Mm-hmm.
and do not know about this movie, do not worry about
Yes.
spoilers, but give me a
Okay.
brief synopsis of this movie. Yeah, we don't have to go shot by shot and scene by scene, but give me a
Okay.
synopsis. I am never going to see this film,
Uh-huh.
and I need to know at the end of this little brief synopsis what this movie's about. And go.
Sure. Can I? No, I'll wait for that. So, what this movie is about, it's about a family that loves each other, that they really want to go to Hawaii for Christmas. But the dad says, no, we're going to have an old fashioned family Christmas. And then, just like the rest of us, which is why I love this movie, the more you pressure things to be perfect, the more they fucking fall apart. And so every single thing that he's like, and then the grandparents are going to come and we're going to have the perfect tree and we're going to have the perfect shopping trip and we're going to have the perfect this, it all just fucking falls apart. And then, but eventually it all works out because the magic of Christmas.
Oh, look
Oh,
at that.
but everything fucking falls apart. Um, can I tell you the Amazon Prime synopsis or
Oh,
like
please.
tagline? The comic misadventures of the beleaguered Griswold family. And then it goes on. I was like, beleaguered? I feel like we're all a little beleaguered.
Yeah.
So I like that word. Beleaguered.
Beleaguered. Um,
Beleaguered.
One of my favorite things about not just this movie, but all the National Lampoon movies with the
Mhm.
Griswolds is that the kids are interchangeable. They
Oh, yes. and their ages.
Yep.
It's not the Roseanne show, whatever her show was back before she was a horrible
Right.
human, but like where they changed the daughter, and you're like, they're both blondes, the same age, same
Eh,
build. All right. This was like, fuck it.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? Michael Anthony, or was it Anthony Michael Hall,
Yeah.
as Russ in in the original, and now we've got Leonard from Big Bang Theory is Russ in
Mm-hmm.
this one. You've got it's just
And then
anybody
you
could
get to
be.
Vegas Vacation where they're the same age, and you're like,
Mhm.
okay, all right.
All right.
Yeah.
Um, Juliet Lewis is Audrey in this one. I
Mm-hmm.
don't even remember who the Audrey was in the original one. She wasn't very memorable
Mm-mm.
to me. Um,
She wasn't, and then the Audrey in European Vacation, I can picture in my mind probably more vividly than the rest because she's so unique looking,
mhm.
but I don't
Yeah,
remember her name.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just, and even Eddie's kids were like that too. It was like
Oh yeah.
just interchangeable. We're just gonna
Well,
change them.
but were they interchangeable or did he have that many kids?
See, that might be a good, yeah. You know what? That might
Yeah,
be it. That could be it.
because they so in the first one I only watched Christmas Vacation to study up for this, but I've watched all of them a long time ago. But in the first one it was the one cousin, the girl cousin, and she was younger,
Hmm.
and then she becomes the stripper in Vegas Vacation. So she's a through line, but she was older, and then there are a whole bunch of little kids running around in the original. So I feel like maybe they just kept multiplying and
Could
they
be.
kept having kids, and then sometimes they're like, fuck it, like we don't know where, so like Ruby Sue is, she's off somewhere, like they're not good parents.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no, they're just
Yeah.
there. It's just, oh
Hmm.
God. So let's get into Christmas Vacation. We start off the Griswold family. They're wanting to go to Hawaii.
No, 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 no.
No.
Stop. We start with the best animated title sequence this world
Oh,
has ever seen. That is where the movie
yes,
starts.
yes. The movie starts with the animated sequence, which is brilliant. It is so good.
Yes. That has nothing to do with the story. And you're
Mm-mm.
like, this is for kids.
And then actually we start finding the Christmas tree.
Yes.
Got to get the Christmas tree, and
Yes.
he has a run in with a trucker. Oh, there it is! Yay!
For
I
those
love you
listening, I
so
just
much.
switched my background to the Christmas tree.
I love you so much. You're the best. Um, um, so yeah, they're in search of the Christmas tree,
Yeah.
and it seems like Clark in every movie has a problem, a run in some rage incident at some point.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, and I love that scene. I remember ever since that movie came out, whenever and anytime I drove on a highway, I
Yeah.
was always scared because there would be semis. I was like, I'm gonna end up under it. I'm gonna end up under it. I don't
Yeah.
want to end up under it.
The two scariest highway scenes that I think of every time I'm driving is this one and then Final Destination. I think it's like 4. I never saw it. I just saw the trailer where like the the logs split apart and then everyone's
Ooh,
driving like through the, yeah,
ooh,
just those two in my mind
yeah.
at all times.
So
Yeah.
Clark ends up underneath this big log. Speaking of logs,
Yeah.
a log, I guess, semi carrying
Yeah.
logs, and he says, "Fuck it, I'm getting out."
Yeah.
Gets out, and in classic Clark Griswold style, the van takes off, the station wagon takes off, it flies, and he lands perfectly parked.
Haha.
We're here, kids. It's just,
Yeah, we did it. We did it.
we made it.
One of my favorite parts of that scene is because they're singing Christmas carols throughout, and there is the moment where he's like pissed, and you just hear Helen go, "We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas." And if I haven't been that in every like family gathering,
You're just trying to keep the peace. Like,
yeah, we wish you it's Christmas. We wish you a Merry
come on, guys.
Come on, just it's okay. It's okay.
Let's not
Yeah.
talk about Robbie's drug addiction. We wish you a Merry
We wish
Christmas.
you a Merry Christmas. We wish you.
That's awesome. Um, So they go searching everywhere for this
Ah, tree.
tree,
Hmm.
and it's massive.
Hmm.
Um,
If that isn't an innuendo,
yeah,
let's
definitely
that
is.
I never got until probably last night, and I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
like, oh, for those listening, I'm pointing to the big tree
the
behind
giant
me,
wood.
the giant wood. He gets stuck under the wood. There's giant wood that he has to find. It's all
One of my favorite
coming up
lines
to
from this scene is the it's not even going to fit. It's not going to fit in the front yard. It's not going in the front yard. It's going
front
in the
yard,
house.
your house.
Um, and can we go? Her eyes are frozen shut, or her eyes are frozen. We need to go. And then I
No, it
think,
has to be perfect. I don't care if you're blind now.
and then Russ says, "Did you bring the saw?"
And the sound effects, the over dramatic 1980s sound effects that would never work today, of just like boom, whenever he like realizes he doesn't have a shovel, like, or a saw, like, oh, so good.
And here's what kills me. And this is the first really big suspension of disbelief, that we are to believe that this family of 4 people
Uh-huh.
pulled a tree from its roots
Yeah.
and then drug
And
it
then
back.
that whole way that they show, they have four location shots showing them moving to this tree. 4.
Uh-huh.
So they have to drive. Yeah. No, it didn't happen.
But it's comedy and it's
But
funny.
it's, yeah.
And you just see all the roots at the back. um,
And then at the end of that, the next scene is him chopping up the tree, and then enter the characters that I think I most relate to at the current moment, the neighbors.
yes. The neighbors are brilliant. You see him come
Hmm.
out, and that's a beautiful shot too, of
Oh
the
yeah.
garage door opening, and he's got the Jason mask and the chainsaw. Ring. And here comes Julie Louis Dreyfus, and then
Oh
no one knows who that guy is.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You've got Elaine and the other guy.
That guy.
Um, and they were such perfect little yuppies.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the bend over and I'll show you, and I wasn't talking to you. Didn't get that
You
until
didn't get that?
10 years ago. And I was like, oh, all right.
Okay, it's a new one.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
Um, and then he finally gets it cut, I guess, and brings it
Hmm.
into the house, and he's got it all bound.
Yeah.
He's like, "Here we go," and that's another one. I love it. Just clip, and it just explodes in the house. A little
So
full,
Ollie,
yes.
this will be a segment I like to call "Will Insurance Pay for That?" As a new homeowner, I watched this movie and literally was Googling, like, will insurance pay for that? And your home insurance will not pay for if you have a Christmas tree that explodes inside your house and breaks your windows.
I am gonna love this episode.
Outside, outside, maybe. Inside, no, no, no.
No, no. um, One of the things that makes me both super happy about this movie and then super sad is Chevy
Mhm.
Chase, because Chevy Chase is so funny in these movies. Clark
Mhm.
Griswold is brilliant,
Mhm.
but Chevy Chase outside of this movie,
His Community slump. Where, like, I
well,
love Community. I mean that because I love Community, and yeah,
just
and we
everything.
all saw, yeah.
You had Bill Murray punch him in the face in backstage at SNL. You had like everyone
Oh,
cannot
I didn't know
stand him.
that.
Like he's such a jerk apparently,
Mhm.
that nobody really wants to work with him. That's why they never made another Three Amigos. That's why you only
Ah,
see Steve
Dos
Martin
Amigos.
and Martin Short traveling around doing shows together.
Oh, I mean, and to be fair, there are things I watched in this movie, not to like get down on it, but he every once in a while says stuff like Griswold says stuff where the rest of the family is super supportive of each other besides their faults. And he says stuff under his breath that I'm like, that's really rough and
Hmm.
mean. And so I'm wondering if that was just like Chevy Chase improv that
Yeah,
was like, oof.
because I think he's a comedic genius. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think he's brilliant.
Especially physical comedy. Like
Oh,
once he's allowed to like, yeah.
and I did love the fact that he would bring that in Community every now and then. You'd see
Yeah.
him throw in, even though he was, 70, when he was doing it, he's still,
Yeah.
he's still doing these little quick, little physical comedy, which is brilliant. And for him to
Yeah.
be, what is he, 6'5"? I mean, he's a big guy,
Oh yeah.
so
And
it's like,
he's yeah. It's what I do like about it, like as a s- story element for today versus then, is like if someone behaved that way on a set consistently today, they would not get work.
no.
Like I think we are done with that kind of prima donna behavior. It's like nope, expose them by like you have to, if you're going to be on a film set, you have to be collaborative.
Mhm.
Um, but we had to have assholes like Chevy Chase to let us learn that like, oh yeah, this is not tolerated anymore.
Right.
This is gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So back to
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
so many quotes in this movie, which, by the way, I'm going to test you later on quotes.
Oh,
How many quotes you know?
do it.
Oh, it's
Do it.
happening. Um,
Yeah.
but that, again, one of my favorite lines is "Little fool, a lot of sap, little fool."
Looks great.
Looks great.
Little fool.
And it's just this little thumb that comes out of the tree. All you see is the tree. And then
Oh,
again, it cuts to them in the bedroom, and again, it's that physical comedy of it sticking
yeah.
and everything sticking.
It's not just Chevy Chase. Beverly D'Angelo is brilliant in
Yes.
this movie. She is brilliant from start to finish. And the like little things here that like, and the fact that she could just sit there and just her side looks so good.
So good.
Yeah.
She is the straight character. She is the
Yeah.
one, and just lobbing stuff up and being able
Yeah.
to counter his wacky is perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. And she could stand him for 4 films. So I feel like she needs an Oscar
Yes.
somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she does. Um, she's a brilliant actress. I think she's
Yeah.
amazing. Comedy and she's good.
Yeah.
She's good.
She's so good.
And just some of her asides, some of her just are exasperated. She's smoking and just in the kitchen and stuff. It's so good.
One of my favorite Beverly D'Angelo quotes is when the Audrey is saying like, do you know how disgusting it is to sleep with my brother? And she's like, I'm sleeping with your father. Don't be so dramatic.
We're all making sacrifices.
We're all making it's Christmas and we're all miserable.
I love whoever did audio, whoever designed the audio and sound and music for this. The score is brilliant. I love when they show up, and the fact that both parents show up, both families' parents show up at the same time.
Yeah.
Just boom, show up, and the doorbell, ding dong,
Bing.
ding dong, ding dong. You're like, oh.
I love that the casting of the parents and how they weirdly look like Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo, but show like the older version of them and how like mom and dad's grandparents can be so different. Because I think we all have grandparents that kind of look like all 4 of them. Like it like works so perfectly. Like you have your I love that. And that whole scene where the grandparents come in and they are just like all talking, and it's like, I have hemorrhoids, and it's like, could you see this? It's like, yeah, you can touch it. It keeps getting readier. No, my car goes in the garage. No, my car. And that gives me anxiety. Like that is the hell of, I love my family, but that is like the hell of family gatherings, is that moment where like, well, we can all talk together. You're like, ah! Who's saying what?
And
Oh, if you if you rub my corn, I'll give you a quarter, and I'll give Audrey
oh,
a quarter
a
too.
whole shiny quarter. Quarter.
Oh, ooh, yay!
Um, yeah, and it's so brilliantly like it's a quick little montage of boom, boom, boom,
Yeah,
back and forth, little things. Um, I love the fact, and I think it's the writing. I think the writing is brilliant
yeah,
in this, that you can see where Clark and what is her name,
yes,
Helen, come from. Like you can see
yeah,
their personalities really in the grandparents, in their parents.
yeah,
You're like, I can see how Clark came out this way. I can see how she came out this way. You know,
yeah. You're right. Because Helen's family is like kind of this like pristine, slightly booze family, and then Clark's family is like over, like, yeah, we're gonna do this, do this, do this. But you could tell their clothes are like a little thrifted, and but her like Helen's
hmm
family's clothes are like from the best shops that there are, and yeah, I never thought that's yeah, that's brilliant.
and
So good.
what is her name? Dolores. What is her name? Who plays Helen's mom? Who was
Oh,
wonderful in
yes.
Everyone Loves Raymond. Um,
Yeah.
Doris Leachman. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't remember,
You were
but
so close. I don't,
so
yeah,
close.
it's
It's right
right
there.
there.
But she's brilliant, and she's like
Yes.
hammered the entire time.
There's the scene, we'll transition to the scene. When when the lights there's like such a long thing to before this happens, but when the lights finally come on, whenever he goes to hug her, she does not move. She does not move her head. She does not move her body. She lets him hug her, but it's just her eyes. And
hmm
her eyes look at him. Her eyes look at her husband, like, help me. Her eyes look at her daughter. Her eyes look back at him. And then he lets go. And it is so good.
That's brilliant because
Yeah.
that
Oh,
wasn't directed. That was a choice
no.
that she made
Yeah.
and
But she's like, I'm just
committed
gonna
to
let
it.
this happen. Someone.
What's this is
And she,
happening, guys?
oh,
Why is no one stopping this? Why is no one? Yeah, it's so good. Um, I always feel that casting is a huge is so huge in a film,
mhm,
especially something like this. Um,
yeah.
I mentioned this in the last podcast where holiday movies, Christmas movies that stand the test of time they have to be relatable and they have to be able to um, it's all got to come together for it to last
Mhm,
for as long as it
mhm.
has. I mean, this was 89, so we're looking at God, oh my
Let's
God,
do the math.
oh my
It
God,
was
31
31 years
years
ago.
ago, and it holds up.
And I think it holds out, the casting, yes, but I think it holds up too because the comedy is based out of family relations and
hmm
like expectations that no matter how we evolve or adapt as humans are never going to go away.
Yeah.
Like, you're always going to have in-laws, you're always going to have your parents, you're going to have your kids, you're going to have your older aunt and uncle, your crazy cousin. Like, those aren't going
hmm
away. And that's why it's still so funny.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
As a writer, like as me, I'm a comic, so I do a lot. I
Yeah.
write all my stuff. I do a lot of sketch comedy as well. I write that. Um, the writing in here, there are topics, that are relatable, and we always try to find
Mhm.
these things. I teach stand up, so I look at them and go, you want to grab most of the audience? Let's come up with something.
Mhm.
Talk about your kids. Talk
Yeah.
about your family. Talk about dating. Talk about there's relationships, there's this, there's that. All those things will forever be topics that will be talked about because it's always a part of life. It's always a part of everyone's life.
Mhm.
Family, everyone has family. Everyone
Yeah.
has someone there, whether it's the family you chose or the family that you were born into. You still have
Yeah.
family, like it's there.
Yeah.
So that's why I think these movies will always, you can watch them every year. We
Mhm.
kind of see ourselves in them. We see our family in them, in the
Mhm.
characters.
I have a hot take.
hmm
I think the Christmas Vacation will last longer than any of the other National Lampoons. Hot take, because the comedy is great, but it's the same, not the same comedy, but it's very similar comedy that we see throughout the National Lampoon series. But it Christmas Vacation is the only one that has these like really heartfelt moments, like the moment where he gets locked in the attic. Like that's a
Yeah.
and he watches the video, like that is a moment.
Hmm.
And the telling of the Christmas story, that is a moment. The being with the his like second cousins telling him that he'd like to give them a good Christmas. Like those moments I think make this movie, because I feel like if it, I mean, I love the comedy too, but I feel like if it was just the comedy for an hour and a half, we'd be exhausted by it. But it's those moments that we go, oh, Christmas, oh, family. And then it makes us appreciate the cast again when they come back into the scene, because those scenes are kind of like smaller and, one-on-one, if you will, and then the rest of the ensemble comes back in. You're like, yes, 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 because you might get tired of them, like we get tired of our own family. And so it's those heartfelt moments when we're away from them, and then they come back, and then we're anyway.
No,
2020.
it makes it, it makes them likable and you
Yeah.
appreciate them. When you get
Mhm.
real, I always feel comedy comes from it being real. It's not from anyone trying to be funny. Um,
Yeah.
Audiences are smart. If you're
Yeah.
trying to be funny, they're going to go, stop. I will laugh
Yeah.
if it's funny. So we don't laugh at the situation because someone set that up and we did it. We laughed because it felt like it was real. And
Yeah.
that comes in the moment, being alive in the moment. And I think that's what makes these things, movies like this so good, because yes, it's ridiculous. Yes, there's some slapstick humor and some crazy stuff and outrageous stuff, but then you have that moment where you're like, wow, look at that's a real person. Even the
Yeah.
scene in the attic where
Yeah.
he's touching moment. He's seeing his old kids, movies. He's
Yeah.
got the little blue hat, purple hat on with the feather,
He's
and he's
trying to
got
be
gloves
warm.
on,
Yeah.
but he looks
But
ridiculous.
yeah.
But you don't care at that point. You're just caring
Yeah.
about that real moment. Um,
Mhm.
and that's the beauty of movies like this, where, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a lot of ridiculous, but there's a lot of real in it.
Also, the soundtrack, like just talking about that moment, the soundtrack to this movie is pretty awesome. And just as a Christmas album in itself, like you have
Mhm.
the like Christmas Vacation, and then you have that song. They have the Hey Santa Claus, Hey Santa. Like it's a
Yeah,
good soundtrack where it just keeps you going. I love, how much time do we have? Because I could talk for years. Um,
we'll be here. I got you.
Okay. I Another thing that I love, that I think everyone at least my age, and I think your age too, like that grew up with this movie, that like, yeah, that everyone wants an advent calendar like that one that they use as the framing device for the
Yes.
movie. Because there's something about that image, and like opening those doors with those
Hmm.
like, and none of that is my aesthetic. Like porcelain, like opening a door to a porcelain doll is not my, but there's something about those scenes that feels like Christmas. Like, oh, and we're getting closer and we're getting closer. Oh.
And if you look back at each one of the dissolves or just the interstitials, you have that, uh,
Mm.
they kind of relate to the scene coming up. Um,
What?
yeah, you have to
What?
look closely, and you'll see when they open it up, you'll see little things, and it kind of relates to the next scene that's about to happen. Like there's tension, there's this, there's that. It's
Hi
all in there.
everyone. I'm out.
By the way,
I'm out.
totally making that up. I don't know. It might.
Are you? I was like, it's. I swear they're. I hate you. I hate you so much. I was like, it looks like they're just porcelain dolls. All right.
Mm.
Acting. Give him an Oscar.
I love Balderdash. So anyway, um, so yeah, being real. Speaking of real, and kind of on the other side of real are the neighbors,
Hmm.
the yuppies. You know,
Yes.
they're I didn't feel that they were caricatures of this. I felt they were real. Those
Hmm.
people, they were those people, and the way the
Yeah.
house is decorated.
Is is there an argument to that? Is someone thinking they're caricatures?
Well, no, I think there
Okay,
there
okay.
could be someone that could come out and go,
Oh
no, no, no,
yeah.
let me change that. I think that there are times in movies and plays
Uh-huh.
where it becomes a caricature. It's like,
Oh, that they could have easily dialed
easily
that if they
die. Yeah,
wanted
it could
to.
have
Yeah.
become a, just an over, I guess, over exaggerated. But I felt that everything they did was completely real. Their reactions were genuine. When they were upset.
Hmm.
I love the fact, like, you get the first really big physical comedy moment for Clark and Chevy Chase is him on the ladder. And I do this every
Yeah.
time I climb a ladder. I do this every time I climb a ladder. I go, because when he's holding on, he's like,
Yeah, it's
he
like
does this thing, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Every time I climb a ladder, I do that. So when he hangs on and he shoots the ice, the
oh,
icicle through and hits it, and they're having that moment. Well, it had to break. What broke the window,
why
Todd?
is why is the car I don't know, Margot.
Yeah.
Well, and I will say that so let's so I watch this movie every year. So 25-year-old Laura watched this movie and started to understand the plight of Clark, right? Because like I was divorced at that point, like family and la la la. I think probably when I turned 30, I was like, oh no, these neighbors, like I understand what these neighbors are going through.
Mhm.
Like when she's crying about her carpet, I was like, yeah, no, I get that. When I was a kid, I was like, why would you cry? Just clean it. And then the the one moment that made me chuckle that I never thought was funny before this last time was when he's like, I just want to take off all these clothes and kiss all over your body. And she's like, after you shower, of course. And I was like, oh yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
That I
I
get.
get that too. Um,
Yeah.
which,
After
by the
after you
way,
shower, of
I
course.
think we're late for our segment. Will insurance cover this? So we've got the icicle going through the window. Does that get covered in homeowners insurance?
That's a maybe because how can you prove what the icicle did? How can you prove it was an icicle? How can because there's another thing is like how can you make a claim?
Hmm.
Also, when did they buy this house? That was another bit like, but you don't have to get like if they just bought the house, they could claim a lot more than if they. But yeah,
And
so that's a will it
the system
maybe.
it destroys, that icicle destroys, looks like so expensive. You're sitting there going,
Oh yeah, they're just going to buy a new one.
yeah, that's a $1,000 system right there back then.
Yeah,
And we go,
yeah,
I have that right here. I have all that right
yeah.
here on my phone. It's like, holy cow. Um,
I don't understand how my all the devices I have get smaller, but my purse gets bigger. But
same,
it's true. It's happening. Yeah.
same.
Just throwing that out there.
Um, so yeah, they're great.
Hmm.
And at this point, Clark is waiting for that bonus check. Boy,
Just waiting.
he's going to
Just
be a
waiting.
surprise, and they're going to have a swimming pool. That's the whole big thing. He wants a
Yeah.
swimming pool for the family, and so this is the big plot point, is the fact that
Yeah.
that bonus check. This is the biggie. This
Hmm.
is what we need.
Hmm.
We know we're doing this. Um,
Yeah. And the
what does
boss. Don't forget the boss is in there
mhm,
as well.
played by
Kiss my ass.
the
Kiss your
great
ass. Happy
Brian
Hanukkah.
Doyle, Brian
Yes.
was it Murphy Doyle, Brian Doyle Murphy, Brian Doyle
Are you
Murphy.
just saying
I'm
Irish
just
names?
Yeah, I'm just going. Uh,
Patrick
but
O'Connor.
Flanagan, um, but Bill Murray's brother is
Hmm.
in this movie, and he's great, and he plays a really good straight character too. Um,
Oh yeah.
Caddyshack, he plays a great straight character. Here, and
Hmm.
he's just good. I've always liked him.
And his wife. She's in this movie for a very short time, but she is gold.
What? Who's his wife?
No, no, no. His character's wife.
Oh, yes, yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
brilliant. Um,
Hmm.
and again, has a moment of real, and the heart comes out. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, I think you'll okay. So when you're growing up, um when you're growing up, you have like actor, doctor, firefighter. Like you have very limited views of what people's jobs are.
Hmm.
And the part that really made me chuckle this last time watching it was when he was talking about what he was doing for his
Hmm.
job. And he's like, "Oh, it's a non-nutritive varnish. What it does is it coats the flake and and goes on this diatribe about what he does." And so they just look glassy-eyed and go like, "Yeah, it's a beautiful product." And I have a job, and I know you have a job that is not easily explainable. And it is so hard. And yeah, and just the amount of people in this world, I just want to say that if your job is not easily explainable, I feel for you. Because, like,
Yeah.
people are just like, oh,
And it's
cool.
it's it's really hard now, especially since they took away the word fluffer. Like it was easy for me when
Yeah,
they asked
yeah.
me. I was
But
like fluffer, and
that's no, not politically correct anymore.
can't
It
say that
is,
anymore. So now it's more difficult for
yeah,
me to explain what I do. I
yeah.
was like, I work with my hands. You know,
I'm an assistant.
eh,
I'm a production assistant,
I'm a
kind of.
filmmaker, kinda. You know,
Yeah.
I help bring
What I do
dreams.
makes the film. So,
Yeah, you know. Oh my god. Um, so right now I'm laughing in
mm,
my head at the people that know us and know what we do that are laughing and
yeah.
listening to this. Um, um, so we got him, and I love that whole diatribe that he has about making the flakes crispier, staying, like it repels the milk, so it stays crunchy, and
Yeah.
he doesn't care. He goes, I gotta take this call.
It's like, yeah, that's
Get me
yeah.
somebody,
None of that.
anybody.
Yeah.
Um,
And give me somebody while I'm waiting.
Give me somebody while I'm waiting. That's right. um, yeah, and
But
then
oh,
the fun he has with the family,
man.
and this is another big thing that I think
Yeah.
people overlook is the amount of actual family time that he does spend, that they do together. The sledding
Yeah.
thing, that's a family outing. They're all together and they're doing this big.
The Christmas tree shopping, the shopping, although he's not, the best family man during that. You know what I'm saying?
It's a bit nipply out there.
Yeah, like it's a bit um oh, remember when people were just at like counters in malls? That was, and I'm not saying that's not a 2020 thing. That's just malls are
Yeah, are pretty much extinct.
gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't exist. Um, yeah, no, he has a lot, like he has actually a pretty good work-life balance, and he has
Hmm.
these amazing vacations that we don't talk about. Like,
Right.
yeah. Do you know what we haven't talked about?
Yes.
Cousin Eddie.
He's coming.
I have
He's
to, I
coming.
have to, okay. It's like,
Because he's not in yet. He's not in yet.
okay.
And I think it's right. I think it's right after. No, it's right before the sled scene. It's right before the
I was gonna
sled
say
scene
he's
where he
in the
shows up.
sled scene.
Yep. And he shows up out of nowhere. They're all celebrating. But well,
Mhm.
before we get to that,
The lights.
why are they
We've
celebrating? Because that's
oh,
another big plot point. He is trying to make this amazing light display, and again, you see him struggling because he's trying so
mhm,
hard to please the family. He's like, I want to
mhm.
make this beautiful for all of you. It's this, and her parents don't give a shit. Like, oh,
Yeah.
even what's her name? What she says is just like, oh, what a horrible waste of time.
Oh, waste of resources
That's
this
it.
was.
They're like, oh, oh my god, that's cold. It's so
Oh,
cold.
but how many things does he do that nobody asked him to do? Like, and no, everyone's like, we would just love you if you just didn't do this.
Hmm.
So he's like creating these. This is getting like therapy, but he's creating these expectations for himself. And Helen calls him out on that, where like at the very beginning, she says, like, I know how worked up you get, and you create these expectations that no family can live up to.
Right.
And so then you see, so that sentence at the beginning of the movie starts to show his descent into madness, which is what I think this movie is it shows a slow, like, not meeting your own expectations will lead to madness is the
Hmm.
horror movie version of this.
Nice. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I do love the fact that they basically set it up. They set it up with that line. They're like,
Yeah.
it's foreshadowing. It's like
Yeah.
this is what it's about to be. Thematically, here's what it is. You are setting
Hmm.
these huge expectations that you're not going to be able to do, and then you're going to get
Hmm.
super frustrated because you can't do it. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's the lights are wonderful. I love the sight gag of he goes, can you untangle that? Got a little knot there, Russ, and it's a giant ball,
Right.
just a
Uh,
giant ball.
and Rusty in this movie also has some great lines. Like there's the one part where he goes, they try to get the lights to work, and they do, and he goes, okay, well, we checked all the bulbs, we should probably go back up and check them again. And Rosie goes, oh geez, look at the time, gotta get to bed, gotta feed the hog, got those bills to pay. And it's just him like walking
As
up.
he's walking out, like nope.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh.
and I love the little farce that happens now. Now we're getting into like as a
Mm,
stage performer, as a theater guy, it's very farcical. The clicking, boom, turning the lights off,
mm-hmm.
this, back off, and it's noise is off. It's
Yeah.
this door. Here's what's happening. Boom, 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 and then all of a sudden she goes click,
Oh,
boom, and it's just, and then every time the lights come on, you've got Todd and and Margot just blinded,
blind as a bat.
and then
Oh,
it's so good.
will insurance cover that carpet? No.
No, will not. Um, and then they're celebrating how beautiful it is. And then we get the man that steals the fucking movie, Eddie.
Steals the fucking movie.
Cousin Eddie.
Cousin
Oh,
Eddie.
he's so good. So good in this role. Um,
So good. And it makes me laugh so hard because he keeps being like, if you don't have a family member who's living in an RV that would show up at your house and live there for a month, then you probably have a family member that has a dog with a skin condition that's like, yeah, my dog can go anywhere. And then you're like, no, I don't want dogs in my house. Or you have
mhm.
a family member that has been out of work for 5 years because he's waiting for a management position. Like somewhere you have a family member that has some trait of Cousin Eddie.
Yep. And
Yeah.
cousin Eddie has a
Oh,
huge heart. Like,
yes.
and he plays that character real. He
Yeah.
believes all the things that he says.
Hmm.
He thinks he's doing the right thing. He genuinely feels that Clark is going to want that RV when he said, now don't you be falling in love with it. It's going home with me when we leave in a couple of months. He's like,
Oh no. Oh, and when he's talking about his dog, and he's like, if he just goes to town on you, just let him finish.
it's best just let him go.
Just
Just
let him yeah, just I just wouldn't be wearing any short pants around him. You're like, oh my goodness.
when he
Oh,
goes when they're in Walmart and they're doing some shopping,
oh,
this is a line that I say all the time. I say it
okay.
all the time. And he's like, thank you, Clark. And why don't you get yourself something real nice? I love that.
As someone who owns a dog, he puts about $140 of dog food in that cart.
Those are some big bags.
Because those are some big bags, and he has the Alpo, which everyone's like, oh, Alpo. No, Alpo, wet dog food's expensive.
Yeah.
So he starts with that, and then he goes, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh,
Just
yeah.
dish, dish.
Dish. Light
And he
bulb.
puts it on top of the, yeah, he puts the light bulbs.
Yeah. So, and the fact, like, and he wears his leisure suits because those are the best, like, and it's not, those are the best things he has. Those those are where he, like, that's the epitome. Oh my gosh, that's the epitome of him. But the Mississippi Lake Hound scene where they're drinking out
Mhm.
of the moose cups, another thing I never noticed is that he has a turtleneck under a sweater, but it's not a full turtleneck, it's just a dickie,
It's
so
a
it just
dicky.
goes to like here, and that's it, and so you can see his nipples through the shirt. And maybe it was my high def television that I never realized that, but I was like, oh. And it's such a like beautiful, because the costume department could be like, here you go, here's a like, but the fact that they're like, yeah, he wouldn't have a full he wouldn't have a full tank like
Mm-mm.
turtleneck. He would have a dickie underneath, and he would want his nipples to breathe, and he'd probably make
Yes.
that well known.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
But I think you
Oh
hit it. I think you hit a very good point on the fact that he doesn't think anything's wrong with that. He feels that
no.
that outfit, the leisure suits, that's that's classy. That he's dressing up right now,
Yeah.
and he's not
Yeah.
trying to make it a joke. He's not doing no. This is genuinely my good clothes, and I want to show you my good clothes. So
Yeah.
he doesn't realize that it's super outdated, super I
He looks
guess
good.
yeah. He thinks he looks good. He's
Like
like,
he knows it. Can we also talk about real quick? And
uh huh,
now that we know that this is not a family-friendly podcast, that cousin Eddie and cousin Catherine are freaks
mm-hmm.
because there's the line when he's like, "All right, get the kids' stuff and don't forget the rubber sheets and the gerbils." And like when you're little and listening to that, you're like, "That's weird." And when you're an adult, you're like, "Oh shit."
Rubber
That's why
sheets.
you wanted alone time. And the gerbils. Have the gerbils, Ollie.
I'm just thinking, man, they're about to go R. Kelly in this fucking RV.
Yeah,
Nice.
a freak, a freak.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they have so many kids. That's why I was like, I don't think these are the same kids. I feel like they just keep multiplying
Oh,
with all that rubber sheet gerbil and
oh, it's so
they
good.
got going on.
So we finally
Ugh.
get to the big dinner. Like we have all
Yes.
fun, and we get to the big Christmas dinner.
Oh, but before we get to the big Christmas, there's a lot to dissect. This is gonna be a 7-hour episode. Um, we get the aunt and the uncle, the
Yes.
great aunt and the great
Yes.
uncle. Yes, that wraps up her cat and her Jello mold. Um, and she loves riding in cars. That's my favorite part. She goes, "I just love riding in cars." As one of her like random, like, "Oh, you go."
Here's a little trivia, I guess, that not part of the question I'm asking you, but some of a little
Damn
nugget,
it.
a little trivia nugget.
Uh-huh.
Do you know that the actress playing the great aunt? Do you know that she was a former like silver screen star back in the day when everybody was
No.
contracted? Yeah, and she,
Oh.
I believe, she did Bride of Frankenstein. Um,
Okay.
I want to
That's
say like
awesome.
she was back in the day with like Lon Chaney and stuff. Like that was her gig. Um,
And that role could have been easily characterized too, because you are playing like a senile old lady, but it really is believable. Like she has this sweetness and this heart to her. And it isn't. I thought it would be weird being an actor and being in that role because you are older,
mhm.
that you don't want people to actually treat you like that. So I would love to know what it was like when like they called cut and then she was just herself,
Yeah.
because the lines are so like leaning towards like senility.
Hmm.
Anyway, it's my deep
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah. She wasn't actually supposed to be on set. She really was a senile old woman that just showed up. Um,
Yeah, and they're like,
and they're
"Come
like,
on in."
just let it go, guys. Just keep rolling, guys. Just keep going. Let's see what we got.
And she just wrapped up her cat. It
And it
wasn't.
was brilliant, and it was
Yeah.
comedy gold. James Limpton
Mwah.
talks about it in one of the episodes of Inside the Actor Studio. Um,
Ah,
so and those two are great.
okay, didn't so good. Big dinner. Sorry, big dinner. I'm sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt you. I
we've
just
got
wanted
them. No,
that
no,
was
no,
the
that's
only
great.
cast members we were missing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they reminded me so much of Street Mo characters. We had back in the day there
Oh
was
yeah.
Stan and Stella were a married couple. It
Mhm.
was the great Joe Wyatt and uh, Donna Charles, who have been out there
Mhm.
since the park opened, and they would always play these great New York um, gaudy um, married couple. And one of my favorite
Mhm.
lines that Joe Wyatt would have as Stan was somebody would take a picture of Donna, who was outrageous. The hair was huge, and just
Of
this
course.
that, and he would go, "Oh, look, great! You took a picture. Now you don't have to go to Animal Kingdom." I loved it.
Oh.
But they kind of
Yeah.
reminded me of them. That was just such a great just duo. the great aunt and uncle and his big stogie.
Oh,
It's my stogie.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, he's
so
on a great episode of Wings. Not to date myself
yes,
too
he is.
much.
Yes, he is.
But it's like a good, like, I'm not a Wings fan, but there is a great episode of Wings because of him, because
I
of that
am a Wings
actor.
fan. I love Wings. Yes, he is. Um, oh God, I just went off on several different Wings tangents right now in my head. I was about to talk about Megan
My dad,
Mullallen's. Oh,
no. My dad is a pilot. You can have him on the podcast. You guys can talk Wings all day long.
oh,
I am not here for
I
that.
love Wings. Um, so we finally get to we get to the dinner. We still haven't got. They've built that tension up so well. We're still waiting on
Still
that.
have not gotten the. Oh, and how have they built up the tension? With a tasteful bit of side boob. Because of his fantasy
Yes.
that he has of the pool where Cousin Eddie transforms into
And
the beautiful lady from the mall.
yes, and it's great. And
But
Ruby is the one that
the other
breaks it up, breaks the
that
dream up.
catches him. Yeah. The other vacations have like full on nipplage, but Christmas Vacation, it's just like the perfect side boob.
It is a
They
movie
knew.
about Santa. You don't have
Yeah.
you don't have nipples with Santa.
But side boob,
Side
I'll
boob's okay.
allow it.
Totally fine.
Okay.
Uh, uh, um,
Anyway, tension.
so they're building up that
is
tension.
building.
Oh, we got to have it. I want to
Yeah.
have this. It's my
Yeah.
big reveal for Christmas.
Yes.
And then
Oh, and they also put in the stakes that he doesn't have the money for it. Like he
Mhm.
doesn't. There's a line that he doesn't have enough money in his bank account to cover it. So
Yeah,
it's like not
7,500.
even just Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
I mean,
we really need it. I need this so much.
yeah.
And we're building it up. And like you said before, when we first started, it's all about building up expectations and everything going wrong, like everything
Mhm.
failing. And we have this beautiful looking turkey.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite scenes is when, as soon as she cuts it open and it just goes, it almost looks like an alien egg opening up in the movie Alien.
It
Just,
is my least favorite scene. I mean, it is comedic gold. There is something about that scene and the Foley on it that is fucking disgusting.
so
Like
good.
all the chewing, and then you add in the dog vomit that's just like going into. You're like, I can't. Ugh. And then the Jello, people eating Jello, and it's
with
the
cat
original like
food in it.
ASMR. Yeah.
But yeah, the dog go, he goes, is he
Ugh.
choking? He's probably just hacking up on a bone. Where would he get a
He's got it up.
where would he get a bone? Did you give him nah, he probably got it rooting around in your garbage, and then they go in and it's just everywhere.
So here's where I want to talk about like descent into madness, right? So we spent because this is the last half an hour we're now in. So we
Mhm.
spent the first hour with these like minor inconveniences. And then the last half an hour happens within like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So turkey isn't done correctly. So you're eating a bad meal. And like every part of the meal kind of sucks. And now they have dog vomit underneath their table and they're cleaning up garbage. So that's like 10 minutes that starts the descent into madness.
And he's holding it together the whole time.
But those are the first those are the first bricks that are being laid, truly.
Yeah, and you start seeing these little cracks,
Mhm.
and they're waiting. We get the
The cat is just subtly chewing on the light cord whenever and then they plug it in, cat goes up. I'm not saying I would ever do this with a furnace, but I love upcycling and I love like I believe that consumerism is a big issue in this country. It is what it is. But I laughed hysterically this last time when Cousin Eddie was like, I think I could reupholster this thing and it could fetch a pretty fine price. How much would it cost? I was like, oh my gosh, am I Cousin Eddie?
Oh my God, your Cousin Eddie.
Like, I'm Cousin Eddie. Shitter was full.
Yeah, we got the cat.
So fried pussy cat.
The tree goes up.
Mm-hmm.
The
And
uncle,
then they get a new tree.
the uncle's on fire.
Yes, of course.
And the squirrel.
And then they get a new tree and the squirrel.
They go out. He goes
And
outside and just chops down. But wait, no. That's
no,
after.
no.
That's after.
So he chops down the tree, the new tree. He puts it in the window of his neighbors, which is the final straw for the neighbors, which also has one of the most brilliant. Everyone listening, rewatch this scene because it had to have been a one take wonder because it's a practical effect where they put the I'm such a filmmaker, but they put the tree through the window and it's Julia Louise Dreyfus and what's his face um,
The other guy.
talking. Yeah, the other guy. They have like 2 or 3 lines of dialogue about like, oh, well, we should have gotten a Christmas tree. Well, where are we going to get a Christmas tree at this hour? And then it goes through the window, and then it's like 30 seconds of it slowly being pulled out the window. And those two are so like I was just watching their faces and they did not break. There was not a smile. And it had to be, yeah, it just had to have been a one take wonder because the
Yeah.
reset on that would have been,
It was a
brilliant.
lot.
Brilliant. And so that leads to their descent into madness because then out of that tree comes the squirrel. The squirrel runs around. Julia Louise Dreyfus is like, I'm going to punch him in the face if you're not going to do it. Threatens his masculinity, which was very unheard of in 1980. And then goes over. And then the squirrel gets her. The dog falls on her. And then they close the door. And he says, gone.
Yep.
Yep.
That
was my recap.
So his iconic monologue comes when is it right before he gets the telegram?
No, it's after. So he gets the let me
give it to me
because it's brilliant. It's brilliant, Ollie. So it comes right then basically where he's like, who the hell is it? Like knock, knock, knock. And he opens it. And oh no, it's whenever sorry. The lead up I don't know, but then I'll talk about it. So everyone is about to leave because they're like, it's over. We're just gonna go. And he goes, it's not over. Can't you tell we're in the threshold of hell? Which is my theory of 2020, where it's like, it's not over. We're on the threshold of hell. So then they're all about to leave. There's a knock on the door. He opens it. It's the telegram. Mm-hmm. So then he takes the telegram, says thank you, and he gives a nice little speech about how he wanted to put in a pool and he is going to fly everyone down there if he has extra money, and that he was excited, and everyone cheers and everyone hugs him, and he still hasn't opened it yet. And then he goes to open it, and there is a beautiful moment where he goes and then they say, it was what you expected. Like, was it more? And then the best exchange in the history of film, where he goes, it's an enrollment to a Jelly of the Month club. And then Cousin Eddie, who always sees the bright side of life, goes, Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year round. And then Clark goes, that it is, Edward. That it is. And he calls him Edward. So good. And so there's this great suspensive moment that, and we've had a few leading up where things started to happen, and like Russ and Audrey both have said in different parts of the movie, they say, Dad's going to flip out. Dad's going to flip out. And they say it at the beginning with the tree. They've said it like 5 times. So I think that that's a subtle thing that the writers did for us as the audience. It's so minuscule, but in the back of our heads, we're like, what? He's going to flip out. Like something's going to happen. He's going to flip out. And as an audience member, if you've watched the first one, he has literally taken a gun to a security guard before. So we know he's capable of anything. And we haven't seen him really do anything. Yeah, little unstable. And then he delivers an amazing dramatic monologue. But before he does that, The blocking of the scene is so beautiful because he is in the hallway and then he walks into this room that we've never seen before in his house that is perfectly framed like a proscenium stage, and everyone else in his family is standing outside of the proscenium and he is within the proscenium
Wow.
to deliver that monologue, and it is gorgeous.
So good. No one's going anywhere.
So good.
Um,
No one's
we're
going
gonna
anywhere.
have the happiest holiday season or whatever. It's just so good. And he's
It's
downing
Bing Crosby
eggnog
dance
with
with
his
Danny fucking Craig. With his move.
moose cup.
Which also, you don't down eggnog. People are like chugging it in this movie, and it's now that you know, you'll watch it and be like, "Oh, okay, gross. Don't chug it."
Yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, he's scooping it up, which is homage to
Hmm.
the original because that's a Wally World
Hmm.
mug. Um, and he's so upset and so angry, and that's when he goes to chop the tree, right? That's when he's like, we're like, no, nope, we're gonna have a Christmas, we're gonna do this, and then he goes outside and does that because he's pissed off, puts it up, boom, boom, boom.
Oh, is it?
I think so. I think
Yeah, you're right. That may be. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You may be right about that.
I may be crazy. You might be a lunatic you're looking for. So
No, I need a stable guy, dude. I
um,
made that mistake before. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. That may be right. I watched this last night. What am I saying? But yeah.
so he gets that, and he's like, no, we are dedicated. We're about to have fucking Christmas. I know it's ruined, but we're doing this because I
Mhm.
put so much work into this. We are
Yeah.
doing this, and everyone's just kind of freaking out. And the squirrel
Yeah.
all that stuff happens. And at that moment, Eddie's gone. Eddie has snuck out.
Yes. Eddie has snuck out. We don't see him, but we do see this beautiful moment with Clark and his dad,
Mhm,
where his dad's like, "Hey, you got to chill the fuck out." Like, and it's I don't remember the lines, but
mhm.
it's just a really
Yeah,
sweet moment of going like, "Yeah, they're always a mess. You get through them.
yeah.
Got a lot of help from Jack Daniels." That's my favorite
Mhm.
quote from that scene. Ah,
Yeah, it's a good moment. Again, a good
yeah,
heartfelt moment.
real. Yeah.
And then the RV shows up, and he's got him because he said,
While
I want him
reading
gift wrapped with a big giant bow.
Big Boa
And
right here. I want him dragged from his house.
and he's there, and Eddie's like, all right, I'll get that done. Goes to get him,
Hmm.
brings him over,
You asked for it. I got it.
and he lets him
Can
have
I
it, lets
just
him
say
know.
those bows are expensive.
Oh yeah.
Those big giant bows, yeah. I'm just saying for realism that Eddie probably couldn't afford that bow, but I just throw
Just
that out
saying, he
there.
probably mortgaged the RV.
Yeah, yeah, because that's a really like bows are more pricey than people think they are. But
Mhm.
yes, so he's in there in his beautiful blue pajamas,
Mhm.
and he brings him in with the line, "You ready to do some kissing?" And then his eyes, just like, oh,
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 so
yeah,
we've got him there, and Clark
uh-huh.
tells him why he's so upset. And while that's happening, you've got SWAT surrounding and getting ready, getting in position. And it seems like we're good. Yeah, maybe I should have,
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah. And then they come in, everybody freeze. And my favorite thing, which apparently is improv, was Beverly D'Angelo putting her hand on his crotch.
Because she is brilliant.
Boom.
And I want to segue to, will insurance cover that? Ladies and gentlemen, if the police raid your house, whether it is a house that you are renting out to people who the police need to raid it because who knows what they're doing in there, or it is your own house and they raid it, because they think a kidnapping's happening or whatever, insurance will not cover it. The county will not cover it. You have to cover it. I'm just saying. I'm
Wow.
just saying he's not buying a pool with that bonus
With all that
check.
damage that's going on.
His and his neighbors.
So his wife shows up with the SWAT team. Everybody's there. The police chief. Like, how rich is this guy that the police chief is there? Like,
So rich.
yeah.
The fact that first off, the fact that the police arrived that quickly anyway, like especially for like a kidnapping of an adult, you're like, he has to be so rich. I also, one of my favorite moments with the wife is when she's calling the cops and she's like, he was wearing a blue leisure suit. He was a like oh, what were the words she described him? She was a massive, bulging man.
It's so good. And they explain everything. It was just a misunderstanding. And the
Mhm.
chief is like, if I weren't, I would hit you with my hose or something, beat you with a hose.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Um,
Yeah.
and and then they go outside. Oh, we forgot one of my favorite moments. Okay, during the dinner. This is what makes comedy comedy. I feel, or the real makes
Okay.
comedy.
Okay.
Airplane, Naked Gun. Okay, those are
Okay.
so out there, outrageous.
Mhm.
But the only way Leslie Nielsen gets all those laughs is because he plays it real. He's not trying to make a
Yeah.
joke out of the lines. Don't call me Shirley. You
Mhm.
know, he's
Yeah.
genuinely saying, "Don't fucking call me Shirley." The funny comes from
Yeah.
us watching it. So this is one of the best deliveries because he believes it. It's when he goes, "Hey kids, uh, the news just reported that Santa's sleigh has been reported over the airport." And fucking Eddie goes, "You you serious, Clark?"
Just Clark.
It's so good because he genuinely go, "You you serious, Clark?" Just
Um, Another one that I loved that I caught now that I'm an adult and work in a more corporate environment was right before the police chief does the rubber hose, the boss goes, I now understand it's people that make a difference. Little people like you. And it's like, oh, ow.
like
Because
you.
as a kid, I was like, he has a sincere tone of voice, so he's being sincere.
So
And
he's
now
being
I'm like,
fine.
oh, you
He's
condescending
such a
asshole.
douche. It's so good. Um,
Ugh.
so then they all go outside. We're all
Mhm.
great, and
They see
that's
a shooting star, they believe.
mhm, is Santa
Mhm.
or no, not just yet. It just they're sitting there going, "Oh, what is that smell?" Or
Oh, yes.
and the uncle goes to light a cigar. Boom, the explosion goes, and um,
Aunt
and this is
Bethany.
something. Yes, I quote her line anytime I work at Indiana Jones. When I am
Mhm.
every show I did at Indiana Jones, I said this every time where you get to scene 3 and it's the big explosion. No, not the
Mhm.
really big one, not the one at the end because I have to talk at that point, but the second to the last
Yeah.
one, we're over here at the barrels. It's like boom, and it goes boom, and it shoots the barrels up, and it goes boom, and I go, and the rockets red glare, play ball.
and and they love each other so much that they all do it with her.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it back. Like, Aunt Bethany is the most patriotic son of a bitch you've ever
Yes,
met, because they were like, say the grace, and she like say grace, and she goes, I pledge
allegiance
allegiance
to
to
the
the flag. The most patriotic woman that has ever lived. Because what's the song? She's like, oh, fireworks and the rockets,
it's
red
red.
glare. Oh, you
It's
need me to
so
speak?
good.
I pledge allegiance. Oh,
It's so
Aunt
good.
Bethany.
Um, and that's essentially the end of the movie. Is all of them.
Hmm.
What a wonderful, and we didn't even touch on we touched on maybe a quarter of all the really good
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
The end of the movie is everyone goes into the house and he goes, I did it. And he goes, dun, 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 dun. And it's like, you know, yeah, you didn't have to work this hard and it wouldn't have been so crazy.
Hmm.
Your house is destroyed, but all right. Um, yeah. So it's just that like setting expectations and it completely goes down. And then like if it meets Life lesson, listeners. If it meets like 5% of your expectations, it's still worth it. Like, I think that's the weird, like, message of
Mhm.
like, he did it. And like, it was maybe a teeny bit of what like he wanted it to be, but he did it.
What's funny is I was going to use that as a trivia question for the bonus. What are the last 3 words of the movie? I did it,
Oh, well,
but
suck
I
it,
didn't.
Ollie.
No, it's okay because I didn't do it. But I
Oh,
do
okay.
have 10 other questions for you
All right, I'm
and a
ready.
bonus. Are you ready? Now, remember, the first
Taking
5 are pretty
my
easy.
headband off.
Second 5, be a little bit more difficult. So, number 1.
I'm gonna change. Okay, I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
change my
gotta get
background.
ready. You gotta be ready. All right, let me get you. Oh, nice. I love you so much. These are so good. Uh, what year did the movie debut?
1989.
1989. Boom. Who wrote the film? Oh no,
Was it Chevy Chase?
no. We'll get back to that
Oh,
one.
I
He
don't
is a
know.
very famous guy for movies, especially in the 80s. Um,
Oh, continue.
okay, we'll get back to that one.
Yeah, I feel like last night when I was watching it, I was like, oh, he wrote this, and I don't remember who the he was, but it was someone very famous. Continue.
What is Clark waiting for from his boss?
A bonus.
Yes.
Probably a $10,000 bonus, which like, holy fuck.
Yeah, no shit.
Anyway,
What's he going to
that's also
build?
a number I didn't understand as a kid. A pool.
A pool. What is the name of Eddie's dog?
Snots.
Snots. He's got a bit of a sinus problem. Who plays the female next door neighbor?
Julia Louise Dreyfus of Veep fame.
All right. Yes, such a good show too.
So good.
These are getting tougher. How many light bulbs?
Oh, this is okay, listeners.
Is this the one that you thought?
Yes. Before we started recording, I was like, I have a feeling of what one of your trivia questions is going to be, and it's going to piss me off because it'd be a great trivia question that I don't know the answer to. Continue. This is it, though. Ask me the
Wow.
question.
How many light bulbs does he use? Because he says it.
I know he does. Okay, I'm going to throw out a number. 3,400. Wait.
Let's just round it up to 1,000. And we'll do
Okay.
1,000.
Okay, 5,000.
Shut up.
4,456 lights.
Oh.
Am I right?
So is 5,000? Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Rounding up, it'd be 5,000. Wow. Yes.
Yeah, you didn't get it. You didn't get it. It's
I fucking hate you.
it's 25,000.
Okay. Was it 24,000? What is the actual number?
He just says 20. It just says 25,000.
Okay. Well, I don't believe. Fake news.
So Ruby's eyes were crossed when she was little. Now they're not. Why aren't they?
Falls down a well, gets kicked by a mule.
Boom. Nice. Okay. So when she's supposed to say grace, she says grace.
She
How
died.
long is she?
How
long she been dead?
Oh, I knew this would be another one too. 30 years ago?
Boom. Nice. 30 years ago. She
All
died
right.
30 years ago.
30 years ago. The blessing.
The blessing. And I don't know why this he used for blessing. What did that mean? I was like, what is that?
Maybe you just smile with like dimples.
I don't know.
Maybe it's a blessing to have dimples. I don't know.
No. So this one, you started to say it, and I went, this is my 10.
Okay.
What 2 words does Frank Shirley's wife use to describe Eddie?
Beastly, bulging man.
Boom! She got it because you didn't say it right. You didn't say it right.
I know I didn't.
When you said it, I went, She said it wrong. She said the wrong two. She's not gonna get this one then. You got it, Bulging and Beastly.
Don't
Boom.
underestimate me.
And then your bonus question for fun.
Okay.
What does Clark tell the kids to look at when he shoots the bird at the truck driver? He distracts them.
Yeah. Oh, I know this one. Oh no. Oh, I know this one. It's not a deer. Is it a reindeer? Is it a I know this one. I'm gonna be so mad, but just say it.
Give me your guess. Take a guess.
Oh, I don't I it's like in buried in my memory. Um yeah, I feel like reindeer or deer. Reindeer.
Reindeer?
Yeah. That's not it.
It's funny that you said it's not a deer because it's a deer.
Okay. Oh, see, it was like that. I was like, I heard it, I saw it, but I was like a weird muffled like in my memory.
Hey kids, look, a deer.
Yeah.
So let's go
Yeah,
back to
got
number
it.
2. Who wrote the film? He's very famous in the 80s for big 80s movies.
Was it Steven Spielberg?
Let's go
No.
quintessential 80s.
I don't know. I wasn't born then,
I swear to God.
Ali.
I swear to God.
But I wasn't. This is a legitimate argument.
If we'll do
John
the
Waters?
we'll do the Dick Clark
John Waters
in
is
Pyramid, where he after they get him wrong, he became a douche and said, if I were to say,
yeah, it's a
no, it was John Hughes.
John Hughes. See, I got the John.
You did get John.
John Hughes.
So you missed 2.
John Waters was also quintessential in the 80s.
Yes, very good. But yeah, you got 2.
I missed 2.
You missed 2. Sorry, you got 8, but you missed 2.
There was a bonus, right? So I got 9.
Yeah, but the bonus doesn't count.
Okay, well then I got 9 and I missed 1.
No, you didn't get the bonus. You said reindeer. You said it wasn't a deer. So no.
I'm gonna flip a table. I said a deer or a reindeer. I feel like I hope everyone listening is also just as upset as I am. I got 90%. I don't care. I don't care what you say. I feel like for a bonus question, a teacher would have given me partial credit.
You get partial credit. You get that you can use for the next time you're on.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I don't agree. I will dispute that. Now that I know that there's trivia, get ready for the next time I'm on, because I will be I will know every date, every number.
Boom.
Get ready. Get ready.
Thank you so much for being
I have
on
a competitive side.
I've had so much fun. I hope you had too. Yeah.
No,
I mean, you probably would have had more fun if you'd have got the answers right, but you didn't. And it's too bad. It's too bad.
I'm done with you.
For some reason, right now,
Merry
as
Christmas.
I'm looking at you, there are some red flags that are coming up, and I think it's because you didn't get the answers right.
There's a red flag on the Griswold mailbox. That is my background.
So tell everybody where they can find you, social media, anything coming up, where we can. I know you have a podcast, so let's talk about that.
I do. Here's my pluggy plugs. I am always writing, but right now I'm, writing in a nice little hobbit hole, so I can't plug that. I am very into upcycling and really making sure that we do not contribute to environmental waste through fast fashion. So you can always find my stuff at Laura_Irene_vintage on Instagram. And then I have a podcast with Julie Carr, who is a mutual friend of ours. And it is called Historical Shade. And it's where Julie and I talk about each week a shady topic in history, either people being shady at each other or us going like, we've learned it this way, but it didn't happen this way. And just basically any stories we want to tell each other from history. So it's kind of nerdy, kind of fun, and it's
Sweet.
That's where you can find me, and that's wherever podcasts are. So we're on Stitcher and Apple Music and all that fun stuff.
Awesome. Awesome. And for those of you that
Yeah.
are, if you are watching us on YouTube, thank you for watching. Go to any place that you can find a podcast, Real Drinks, REEL, Drinks with Ali Flores. If you're listening to us, thank you for listening. Go to YouTube, Real Drinks with Ali Flores, and subscribe,
You can see
rate.
my background.
Yes, you get to see the fun stuff that she does. And you get to see her faces when she gets the questions wrong. Like that one. That's a good one too.
Stupid
So
mother.
make sure you follow us. You can find Real Drinks on Instagram at Real Drinks with Ali Flores. You can find us on Facebook, Real Drinks with Ali Flores. You can find me on Instagram, Comedic Actor Ali on Twitter. And if you're into TikTok and you like sick and wrong jokes, I tell a lot of jokes, at least one every day. And you can find me there at Ali Flores. So there you go. Laura, thank you so much. I've had so much fun. Thank you for introducing me to eggnog, which was way stronger than I thought it was going to be.
Woohoo! Have fun sleeping.
I know. I killed it. I killed the drink. It's gone.
Oh, goodbye.
All right.
See you next year.
Heck yeah. Well, I'll see you again, and I can't wait. I've had a blast. Yay! Happy holidays, everyone.
Bye.